At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Miami Marlins. Tuesday Night Baseball is presented by Verizon. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Verizon. Don't miss a moment of Mets baseball on the largest, most reliable 4G LTE network, only from Verizon. By DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New York Mets. By Bedgear, performance betting of the New York Mets. Sleep cool like your favorite player. Bedgear.com. Sleep fuels everything. By Geico, the #1 insurer in the New York market. And by Mazda, driving matters. You win 8 straight games, people flood off the subway train. Off the 7, ready to see the Mets ace pitch a gem tonight. Mets go for number 9 in a row as the fans flood into Citi Field. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets play the middle game of their series against the Marlins. Mets have won 8 in a row, and they've been rolling since July 31st, which is the day they traded for Yoenis Cespedes, who has gotten plenty of attention. Kind of lost in the shadows was the other guy the Mets acquired July 31st, and that was Travis d'Arnaud, who came off the disabled list that day, and he has just been marvelous.
Well, not only has he been terrific, here his 12th home run of the season in 52 games. He's driven in 40 runs. He has a slugging percentage of .568, second to only Yoenis Cespedes. He has been hitting in such clutch situations. 7 of his 12 home runs, Gary, has either given his team the lead or has tied a ball game. He also brings a lot of energy with his game behind the plate, totally involved. I loved him the first day I saw him in spring training. He's been doing a heck of a job. It's just a matter of keeping him healthy.
And most importantly, he has been healthy for the last 6 weeks, which really begs the question one more time about d'Arnaud. Will he remain a catcher, or will the Mets find somewhere else for him to play?
Well, the Mets love Plawecki, but I like d'Arnaud behind the plate because of his involvement with the pitchers. I like the way he works with the pitching staff. I like the game he calls. Those are things you can worry about down the road. Right now, he's just hitting in the clutch. He's been overshadowed, like a lot of the players, because of Cespedes, but he's been a big key component to this big surge by the Mets.
On the mound tonight for the Mets is Jacob deGrom. Last time out, he won the finale of the series in Washington.
Well, he's going for his 14th win, and he was the beneficiary of the Mets come from behind style they've been playing. He threw a really fine ball game. I thought it was the best game he's thrown in his last 4 starts. He went 7 strong in Washington with 9 strikeouts. But most importantly, he's been a little bit short on his slider. He got his breaking ball really sharp and over last time out.
Mets will face Tom Kohler for the 5th time this year. The New Rochelle High School product posted a 10 strikeout game his last time out.
It's been a tough year for him, up and down, 9-13 on the year. Last game he pitched was against the Mets in Miami. He pitched a pretty good ball game, but his career against the Mets, 1-5. Mets will hope to make it 1-6.
So it's the Mets trying to win their 9th in a row today. A gorgeous sunset in New York. Mets and Marlins. All the action coming your way tonight right here on SNY. Nationwide is on your side. Speak with James Finaro in Bethpage or Stephen Principe in East Meadow today. By Bob's Discount Furniture, quality, choice, and untouchable value every day. And by Heineken, open your world. Friday, October 2nd is Free Shirt Friday at Citi Field when the Mets take on the Washington Nationals. All fans in attendance will receive a Mets Know Your Roots t-shirt courtesy of Avoderm and Nylabone. For tickets, visit Mets.com/FreeShirtFridays. Time now for the Coldwell Banker home field advantage over the last 2 seasons. Home ERA, well, Jacob deGrom second only to Clayton Kershaw. Pretty good company to be in. deGrom will try and add to his credentials tonight as he takes on the Marlins. First pitch is coming right up. Fourteenth victory of the season. And the long-legged right-hander gets set to face the Miami Marlins for the 3rd time this season. He's never lost to Miami. And there is the Marlins starting lineup. One change tonight. Ichiro Suzuki sits. Marcell Ozuna plays right field. Giancarlo Stanton, they're saying, would like to start his comeback sometime later this week, but that's still in the offing, and he's still out. And Jacob deGrom will face the Stanton-less Marlins tonight.
And those are his Jacobs' Jeep numbers right there. All the Met pitchers, you look at the walks to innings pitched, are off the charts. And Gary, you're right, 3-0 career against the Marlins in 6 starts.
D. Gordon leads things off. Corners pitch in. Gordon hits the first pitch up the middle, and he's got a base hit to start the night. His 177th hit this season. That leads the National League, and his 30th hit against the Mets.
And ripped. Fastball outside corner, knee high. Not a bad pitch, just nicely done. Nice hitting.
We talked about it last night with Gordon, a guy who has figured out who he is and has really upped his game. Here's Christian Yelich, 0 for 4 last night. Yelich hitting at .280 for the year. Gordon always a stolen base threat, 51 on the season, including 1 last night.
And also Yelich playing last night, an extremely shallow center field, and David Wright took advantage of that with that game-winning double over his head.
Gordon takes off first pitch. Yelich bunting it, and he bunts it foul. What was that all about?
What would you bunt for when you've got a guy that has 51 stolen bases? What are you thinking?
Unless somebody missed a sign.
Wasn't me. I didn't miss it.
No, you were right on top of it. Fully integrated and prepared. And Yelich takes a fastball for a strike and is quickly down on the count 0-2. Only Billy Hamilton has stolen more bases in the National League than D. Gordon, and Hamilton's hurt right now, so Gordon might have a chance to catch him before the end of the year.
I think the Dodgers wish they'd had this kid back. Jacobs coming out of the chute, throwing hard and keeping the ball down, which has always been his staple.
Martin Prado waits on deck. Last time DeGrom pitched against the Marlins, he matched up against Tom Kohler that game. That was 11 days ago. That was the 11-inning Marlins win. Slapped slowly down to third. Wright charging his only play at first, and he nips Yelich for the first out of the night as Gordon goes to second.
And there's your defense for the Lex's Metsy defense. Cespedes always plays center field when Conforto's in left. And Tejada has been flip-flopping with Flores. It's Ruben's turn tonight. And d'Arnaud, who we talked about in the open, has just been superb.
Who were you trying to?
It was a cartoon character.
Here's Martin Prado, 0 for 3 last night. Prado hitting at .284 for the year. Gordon at second and 1 out. Yeah, Prado takes a knee-high strike. Let's begin the night with a magic number of 10 for clinching the National League East. The Nationals are in Philadelphia after they won in extra innings last night, and Bryce Harper just homered in the first inning, his 38th.
Wow.
To give the Nats an early 1-0 lead.
40 home runs is rarefied air.
Well, Cespedes has a chance to get there. He's got 35. There goes Gordon stealing third. The throw by d'Arnaud, and he got him! Travis d'Arnaud guns down D. Gordon, 2 down.
Perfect footwork. Throw a little high, only thing you can say, but it's good enough. Did he get his foot in there first?
Nope.
Did not.
No beef from Gordon. He's now been caught 17 times this year, most in the league. Prado fouls off the fastball to stay alive. 98 from DeGrom. Jake is working with 1 extra day of rest tonight. He pitched last Wednesday in Washington. There's every chance that after this start he'll be pushed back or skipped because the Mets want to keep him fresh for the postseason. Breaking ball in the dirt, and it's 1-2. How exactly that's going to work, when he's going to pitch next, all very much up in the air. Mets are being very cagey with their rotation plans because there are so many moving parts right now. 1-2 coming, and Prado slaps one foul.
Watch the footwork of d'Arnaud shifting. That's why you never have a left-handed catcher. Beautifully done. There have been left-handed catchers over the years. Very rare, of course, but that's one reason it'll be very difficult for a left-hander to throw to third base.
Dale Long, Mike Squires, Benny DiStefano. Not many. And only briefly. Never been a regular catcher who threw left-handed. 1-2 coming, and Prado grounds one weakly to Tejada. Plenty of time. Side retired. Helped out by the caught stealing. DeGrom negotiates the first. Mets come to bat in the bottom of the first against Tom Kohler with no score. Than last night when the Mets faced a left-hander. Granderson and Murphy and Conforto all had the night off last night, all back in there tonight against the New Rochelle High School Stony Brook University product Tom Kohler.
And Bronx native 28-year-old Mr. Kohler acquired in the 18th round of the 2008 first-year player draft. As we said, his 1-5 career against the Mets. It's been an up-and-down year for him. Needs to get his curveball over and throw it with velocity. He tends to throw it too soft. That's where he gets in trouble.
Curtis Granderson leads off. He's on some stretch right now. Curtis has drawn a walk in each of his last 10 games. 13 walks in his last 8 games. And he's getting his base hits as well. So his on-base percentage up to a season-high 366. Curtis has drawn 84 walks this year, which is just one shy of his career high that he set in 2011. Yoenis Cespedes sitting second, Daniel Murphy behind him. Curtis has been the consummate leadoff hitter for the Mets this season. Kohler gets ahead of him 1-2. Mets are seeing Kohler for the 5th time this year. You see that consecutive game walk streak for Curtis. Kohler had 3 awful starts against the Mets, but he matched up against DeGrom in Miami 11 days ago and pitched well. And this is low with a curveball, and it's 2-2. Over a lifetime, 1-5 in 13 starts and 3 relief outings against the Mets. 2 runs in 6 innings in that last start against New York. Another curve, and that one misses, and now it's a full count to Granderson, who seems to get 3 balls in the count every time up. Kohler's walked a number. In fact, he's 8th in the league in issuing walks this year. Granderson takes one the other way, and he has a leadoff hit. He has just had a tremendous year. And the Mets get the leadoff man on in the bottom of the first.
Well, he primarily pulls, Garrett, but you know what? When you got 2 strikes, forego the power when you're a leadoff guy. You just need to get on base, use the whole field. Fourth-seam fastball. Tremendous. We won't go there. The ball left that bat pretty quickly, though.
Now the amazing Mr. Cespedes. His 35th home run of the year last night. His 17th as a Met.
There's a buzz when he comes up to the plate.
And he gets drilled with the first pitch from Kohler.
How about that?
And a lingering stare Homer from Cespedes out to Kohler.
With a runner on.
And he looks at him again. And again.
He hit him pretty good. I'm glad he didn't charge the mound. Now I know how you get even. And, you know, usually you don't hit a guy when there's someone on base, but I got to question this one.
Kohler's not a guy who hits a lot of batters, only his 6th of the season. And Cespedes has put that one in his mental notebook.
You get even by, you got 3 more cracks at this guy.
Interesting parallel between the MVP candidates. Here's Murphy, who takes outside. In Philly tonight, Bryce Harper, first pitch from David Buchanan. Buchanan threw it behind him. Next pitch, Harper hit it over the center field fence.
Well, it's something there's a score right there. The Mets are putting 9.5 in front with 18 to play. The magic number's 10. Whatever Met you want to bring to mind there. Duffy Dyer, Rusty Staub,
Ray
Ordonez. Go ahead and post it, folks.
Last time Murphy came up with 2 men on, he was in the 9th inning on Sunday in Atlanta, and he hit the game-tying 3-run homer that led the Mets to an unlikely victory.
Incredible. And that was 390 in the gap in Turner Field. It's the largest gap in Turner Field. You got to hit it hard to get it out of right center field fence there. And, you know, Murph's not a home run hitter, and this is what's been going on with the Mets.
And he said he went up looking to hit a home run, which I don't think Murph does too often. And now Kohler's behind him 3-0, maybe a little unnerved after drilling Cespedes. So the Mets poised to put up some numbers here in the first inning. David Wright waiting on deck. Murphy never swings 3-0. And he takes a strike.
Kohler 0-2 at Citi Field with an ERA over 6.
Well, he went through an awful stretch. He lost 7 straight starts, then had a no decision against the Mets, and then finally broke that losing streak against Milwaukee on Wednesday with 8 quality innings. But in a mess of first inning trouble tonight. Granderson at second, Cespedes at first, nobody out. And Murphy hits one slowly to Gordon. The backhand flip, and they get Cespedes on the force play. Cespedes neglected to slide, and I think he stepped on Miguel Rojas, the shortstop, as he caught that ball.
I don't think he assumed that Gordon was going to go to first. He was trying to get in the way.
Yeah, he stepped right on his toe.
And that hurts, too. Got him. And we had a little, those steel spikes, they hurt.
So the Mets have runners at the corners with 1 out, and now David Wright, who had the game-winning hit in the 7th inning last night, a booming double to center that brought home the go-ahead run. Infield a double play depth, first and third, 1 out. David takes a fastball for a strike.
Interesting, the outfield here, the outfield defense. Note the center fielder Yelich playing deep. Where yes, sir. Last night he was 20 feet closer.
Well, we've seen this all year with the Marlins outfield. We saw it in Miami in that last series as well. They play shallow. Even last night, remember when Granderson came up to pinch hit and Ichiro was playing shallow in right field to the full side?
Well, Yelich is not a center fielder. He's a left fielder.
This is David's hit last night.
And really, you know, it's a track fly ball. It was stroked beautifully and hit hard. But you playing where Yelich is playing right now, he makes that catch.
For most of the year, Marcell Ozuna played center field, and then he got sent to the minors, and they've been mixing and matching out there ever since. Now Ozuna's in right. And David takes it low, and for the second straight batter, Kohler's behind 3-1. 4 batters, 3-3 ball counts for Kohler. Granderson at third, Murphy at first with 1 out. Michael Conforto on deck. 3-1 to right. Reds have been specializing in striking late. trying to strike early tonight. And Wright hits it out to right field. That'll get the run in at least. Ozuna back near the wall. It's over his head and off the fence. Granderson is in. Murphy to third. David Wright pulls into second with an RBI double. And the Mets have the early lead. 1-0 New York.
I almost thought this ball got out of here.
Isn't it interesting, the last couple of nights, David all of a sudden hitting with authority to right and right center.
Well, that's always been his strength, Gary. Let's see what this ball hits. Top hit the orange line. So the mouthfeel for the Marlins has been shoddy. That's a tough chance. About 6 inches from being a 3-run shot. And that's right on the barrel there. Nicely done for David.
Well, before last night, David had not been driving the ball the other way. Now, all of a sudden, he is. 2 in scoring position for Conforto, and he takes inside. Marlins playing the infield back. They'll concede another run to try and get the second out. Conforto pinch hit last night, went 0 for 1. He has a home run against Kohler. He works him inside, and it's 2-0. First base is open. Travis d'Arnaud is on deck. Kohler has had some dreadful outings against the Mets this year, and he has gotten off to a shaky start tonight. Behind on Conforto, 2-0. And that's ball 3.
Give him the hit sign. Let it rip.
An off-speed pitch on 2-0.
See what the skipper lets his rookie left fielder loose here. Cuts him loose.
No guy on deck's been pretty hot. And Conforto takes ball 4, and the bases are loaded for d'Arnaud. So a single, a hit batsman, a double, and now a walk.
And we'll finally get to the Coors Light Marlin defense. Osuna was expelled last night. He's surprised he's not in center field, but he's in right. Rojas filling in for Echevarria. Justin Bohr has been platooned at first base. Big power hitting left-hander. Realmuto, everyday catcher.
Yeah, it's funny, the Marlins outfield, which remember early in the season we were touting as one of the best in the game, it's gone from being a strength to being, at least defensively, a bit of a weakness with all these pieces moving around.
Well, number one, Yelich is not a center fielder. Osuna is more of a center fielder than Yelich.
And Dietrich, who's playing left, is an infielder.
If you've got Stanton in a lineup, then you've got Yelich in left and Osuna in center.
Well, here is d'Arnaud with the tying 2-run homer in the 6th last night. Last 19 games, Travis is hitting .377 with power. And a chance to do some damage here. Bases loaded, 1 out. A run already in for the Mets in the first.
Travis likes to step out in the pitcher load. I like that. Don't let him get a rhythm. He's out there in trouble.
Pops it up. Infield fly rule will be invoked. The batter's out. And Gordon squeezes it 2 away.
So I don't know what's going on in Travis's mind. He's been red hot. You're going to go up there and first ball hit. If you're first ball hitting, it's usually first ball fastball. Now this is a hanger. But is that a pitch to really go after? He's mad at himself. He knew he shouldn't have swung at that pitch. If you're going to go rip the first pitch, it's got to be fastball to your liking.
So now Lucas Duda, who for the 2nd straight night finds himself in the number 7 spot in the batting order. Last night was against a left-hander. Tonight hitting 7th against a right-hander, which is unusual. In fact, these are the first 2 times this season Lucas has hit this far down in the order. But he's trying to get on track after sitting out with a back injury. Just 3 for 22 since coming back.
Well, you hate to let a pitcher get off the hook in the first inning like this. It usually spells doom. But the way this club's been going, Gary.
I was going to say there's been a little doom to this ball club lately. Even when they've tried to invite doom, doom has gone away.
Like Sunday in Atlanta.
Exactly. Lucas had little success against Kohler, just 3 for 24 against this right-hander. And he gets busted inside. It's 2-1.
It's like Kohler's overthrowing. All over and up and around the strike zone.
I think he gets overamped when he comes to pitch here. Close to home, lots of family and friends on hand. An intense competitor. Sometimes maybe that gets the best of him. And he finds the knee-high inside corner and gets even on Duda.
Big shift on the right side of the infield. But the shortstop up the middle on the left side of second base, not over on the other side. We normally see that with Lucas.
2-2 to Duda. And he pops it up. The shortstop Rojas calling. And that retires the side, and Kohler is able to limit the damage in the first inning by getting d'Arnaud and Duda to pop up. Mets settle for 1 and lead 1-0. MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Download MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet now. Justin Bour leading off in the second inning. Mets with a 1-0 lead. Bour 0 for 4 last night. With Stanton out, he has been the main power source for the Marlins.
You know, Gary, we talked in between innings, and we both felt that Cespedes was hit on purpose, which you just, there's a base hit with the shift, not the full shift. It's just something you don't see in today's game, and it's just so unusual now. I've always felt in the National League, obviously with pitcher hits, he's the one that threw it. If you want to retaliate, drill Kohler.
That rarely happens, though. Usually it's tit for tat. They hit your big guy, you hit their big guy.
I'll let you throw at the pitcher and make him think twice. You know?
There's Marcell Ozuna. Did not start last night. Saw Ozuna struggle on that ball hit over his head by David Wright. Not surprising when you consider it's only the 5th game Ozuna has started in right field.
Plus, that ball was in the inverted area, but below the Honda sign in right field, almost 6 inches from being a home run. It would have been an outdoor catch.
It's been a struggling year for Ozuna after a breakout season last year. Last year he had 269, 23 home runs, 85 driven in. This year 249, 8 homers, 36 RBIs in a month and a half in the minor league.
Yep, they really were counting on him to improve on his season, and it didn't happen. And then, as usual, Stanton can't play a full season.
And then they sent Ozuna down, and they kept him down long enough so that he will not be a Super 2 player next year. Cost him a year of arbitration, and that created some hard feelings as well.
Well, it's the business. That slider is off the plate.
Bohr at first, nobody out. 2-2 to Ozuna. And it's on the outside corner. Slider gets Ozuna looking. First strikeout of the night for DeGrom.
It's a strike. Plenty of play. Right on the corner.
Dale Scott, the crew chief and home plate umpire, making the call. Here's your umpiring crew tonight. C.B. Buckner at first. Lance Barrett at second. Dan Iassogna, who had the plate last night, works at third. Now it's Derek Dietrich. 2 for 4 last night, drove in a run. And a check swing, and he did not go.
And didn't ask for help.
Maybe he did go.
He did. He called it a strike.
Yes, he did. Dietrich's been swinging the bat well, which is why they've tried to shoehorn his bat into left field, which is not his position. He's an infielder, mostly a second baseman. And DeGrom throws one by him, and it's 0-2.
Now that's the Met hat I love, Gary.
Traditional. Oh, 2. Upstairs 1-2.
I can't recall. We didn't have the orange.
You didn't
button
have the
on
orange
top.
button.
It was all blue.
That's the only change from the traditional cap.
Kind of like the blue button, but I'm just an old dinosaur.
You're just a blue button kind of guy.
Yeah.
1-2. And it skips in. 2-2 to Dietrich.
18 games remaining for the Metropolitans. 9.5 game lead. They refuse to lose. Just been a tremendous run. 10-3 in the month of September.
Two coming. Slap foul. And Dietrich hangs in there. JT Realmuto, the catcher, on deck. DeGrom's numbers have not been quite as good coming down the stretch. He was just off the charts. At one point had an ERA under 2. He's up to 2.40 now, which is still good for 4th in the league.
No, it's a long, long year.
But what's been so impressive about DeGrom, and we saw this even last year as a rookie, even when he is not in possession of his best stuff, he still finds a way to work through without giving up a ton of runs.
It's called battling, and those are the things that you look for in a pitcher.
He had the one bad start in Philly when he was sick, got knocked out in the 3rd inning. Other than that, he's generally kept his team in the game. Foul tip. Held by d'Arnaud. Dietrich a strikeout victim. 2 men down.
Upstairs. Four-seamer. Throwing hard. This is also a learning year for DeGrom. His 2nd season. Learning how to marshal his energies. And for the course of 32 starts.
Well, it's also his first full season. Remember, last year he spent 2 weeks on the disabled list in mid-season. There's JT Realmuto, and this year he has to be ready to pitch perhaps another month of the season as well.
And let's not forget that these pitchers today are not conditioned to go 9 in the minor leagues, so it's a gradual buildup. Say what you want about it. Everybody has their opinion about it, but that's what the way it is.
Well, Muto takes a strike on the corner. Well, even if he skips a start, he'll probably end up around 195 innings for the regular season, with the possibility, since he'll probably be the game 1 guy with Harvey's innings so limited, of maybe pitching another 30 or 40 innings in the postseason. Little flare out to shallow right. Murphy goes out to get it, and that retires the side. Leadoff hit, then no problem for DeGrom as he gets the next 3, and the Mets lead 1-0 in the second.
It's Verizon Stump Gary night. Gary, can you name the 4 Mets tied for most walk-off home runs in team history? Come on.
No, I can't.
That's a toughie.
I know that, in fact, I just read this the other day, that Dave Marshall, remember Dave Marshall?
Yes, I do. Left-hand hitter.
Played for the Mets for just a couple of seasons, that he had a propensity for the walk-off home run. So I think he's actually on that list with 3 more known folks. Who the more known folks are.
You think Piazza would be up there? Or did he?
Remember Mike hitting 1 against Trevor Hoffman in a game at Shea Stadium. I don't remember if he hit any other walk-off home runs as a Met. Ruben Tejada leads off in the home second. Takes up and away for ball 1. Ruben hitting a .262. He's got good numbers against Kohler, 7 for 22, so he's in the lineup tonight.
All good. .262 out of Ruben. And the defense he's been playing, his game has been energized, and it's been a long time since Ruben has, since his rookie season, that he's played this well, Gary.
And like so many of the Mets, as his playing time has diminished, his production has increased. He pulls one toward the hole. Rojas on the backhand, sets and fires, and he got him. Nice play by Miguel Rojas for the first down.
Knowing your runners. Tejada not the most fleet of foot. Rojas just plants the back foot and lets it rip. Wings it, and nice play.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Jacob DeGrom, who has 9 hits on the year, and he takes low. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 3 big Met home run hitters. I'll take Strawberry.
I would say yes.
I remember he hit one against John Franco, a walk-off at Shea. Had to have had at least 1 or 2 more. Okay, so I'll take Strawberry. I'll take Beltran.
Okay, good. Not Kingley.
No. He never hit a big home run. Never. He only hit him when it was 7-0.
Hit him a long way, though.
Yes, he did, and very high. 2-2 to DeGrom.
You're third. I'll get to Dave again.
So Strawberry, Beltran. DeGrom goes down swinging. First strikeout for Kohler. I'll take Piazza and put him with Dave Marshall, and those will be my 4.
Okay, the only reason why I know Dave Marshall was because Dave Marshall got traded to the San Francisco Giants.
Right.
And was a 4th, 5th outfielder for the Giants, platooned.
Yeah, which is basically what he was here. I mean, what was he here? 70s, maybe 2.5 years. Here's Granderson, who had a base hit and scored the only run of this game in the first.
Well, there's Curtis. We give a little look at what he's done. Now September's got a long way to go. But you see the tough start he had the first 2 months. He was walking a lot, but wasn't hitting. And boy, June he caught fire. July is deceptive. He had a good July, I felt.
A lot of power in July.
Yes.
When the Mets didn't have much else power-wise.
And fabulous August. And so far, I feel, even though the average is not there in the first 13 games of September, he's been superb.
That's something it's hard to remember now because the Mets have such a different look offensively. But in July, Granderson and Duda both had big power months. Granderson hits this one deep to right field. Back goes Ozuna near the wall, leaping to make the catch right at the orange line. And he caught it right about where David Wright's double hit. So this one had a little more air under it, and Ozuna able to go back and grab it.
The old inverted area there in right field.
You love that inverted area. 1-2-3 for Tom Kohler with some help from his right fielder. Happiest man in the house after. Miguel Rojas leads off the 3rd inning for Miami. Rojas filling in for the injured Danny Echeverria at short. 22nd start for the former Dodger. The pitcher Kohler on deck, and then D. Gordon for the Marlins in the 3rd. So the Mets won last night. The Nats won, which kept the Mets lead at 9.5. But when the Mets woke up this morning, they discovered, you look at the Nats leading the Phillies 2-0, they discovered they have the largest division lead of any of the 6 division leaders.
How about that?
The Kansas City lead, which was once, what, 14, is down to 9. So the Mets are the closest to clinching.
Who would have thought it?
Mets magic number is 10. Kansas City's is 11. There are your National League races. The only close one in the Central. The Pirates won the first game of a doubleheader today from the Cubs. They're down 1-0 in the third and the second game. The Cardinals have been slipping and leaving the door open. Now all 3 of those teams are going to go to the postseason almost assuredly. Cubs lead the Giants by 6.5 in the second wild card race. Tejada in front of the grounder from Rojas, and that's the first out. But the Cardinals have, they've had injuries to some of their key offensive players, but more importantly, the last 2 weeks, all of a sudden their pitching, their starting pitching, which had been airtight, has cracked a little bit. Their staff ERA over the last 13 games is over 6.
Well, that bullpen has been overworked all year. Did Garrett Cole win that first game? I think he did. I think he won his 17th, Garrett. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He did not get the win. The Pirates got a run on the bottom of the 8th to win that game.
That was Lester pitching the first game too, I believe. Lester and Cole, I believe, were the starters.
So now the Pirates are 5 games up on the Cubs for the first wild card and home field in the wild card game. But the Pirates have their eyes set on bigger game, which is that division title, which
would be something.
I mean, you don't want to have to face the Cubs in a wild card game with Jake Arrieta, if that's what it comes to, because he's been so good. You hate to face a guy like that in a do or die game.
I think he's the front runner for the Cy Young. He's going to win 20, even though Kershaw's at 8.
But what about Greinke? Greinke's ERA is,
I understand,
1.6.
20-game winner. Cubs.
I don't think that matters.
When was the last? The last time Cy Young did Sutcliffe get the Cy Young when he was 16-1 with the Cubs?
He did.
84. Ferguson Jenkins was a Cy Young Award winner.
Greg Maddux won a Cy Young with the Cubs, so they've had their share. DeGrom 3-2 on the opposing pitcher. And Kohler goes down on strikes. Third strikeout for DeGrom. He's retired 5 in a row. 2 down in the third. Well, Jacob DeGrom may not have the most impressive hair that has taken the mound at Citi Field tonight. I know that comes as a shock. But earlier today, Deborah Messing threw out the first pitch, and I think she's got Jake beat. But those are 2 pretty good heads of hair sharing the mound at the same time.
And I do believe we've got Mr. Seinfeld in the house tonight.
His hair does not measure up.
You tell him.
His wit, perhaps, he'd be the first to admit it. He's more on my plan. Kramer's got a better shot. 0-2 to D. Gordon, who singled and eventually was caught stealing third in the opening inning. 0-2 from DeGrom. This is a little bit high. Darno held an extra beat, hoping Dale Scott would bite. 16-game hitting streak against the Mets. Gordon has been a real pest. 1-2. And the curveball misses. 2-2.
There's Jerry. There's a lifelong Mets fan. Hi, Jerry.
He's got a little bromance going with Cespedes. He's seeing all the tweets and the messages. And land untouched. No parakeet sleeve tonight for Cespedes.
No, you're right.
He likes to change that look on a daily basis. I think he's still thinking how he's going to retaliate against Kohler next time up. And Gordon goes down on strikes. DeGrom just getting started. Blows away Gordon. 4 strikeouts for DeGrom. 1-0 Mets. Cespedes deserves to win the National League MVP despite playing more games in the American League than the National League this year. Hashtag SNY tweet. Let us know what you think. Well, Cespedes will get his crack at Kohler, who drilled him in the side with the first pitch he threw to him in the first inning and drew a withering stare from Cespedes after he did. It's only the 4th time Cespedes has been hit with a pitch this year.
Well, I learned one thing last night, and I learned not to talk when the ball's on the way when Cespedes is up. And this is why. I was in the middle of something, and it's like, what, again? You gotta be kidding me, right, Gary? I mean, 17? It's like
17 home runs in 41 games.
It's just off the charts.
It's like nothing anybody's seen before. And it takes a big rip. 1-2. He's got 17 home runs. His first game with the Mets was on the 1st of August. The record for the Mets for most home runs from August 1st till the end of the year is 19. Gary Carter did it. Darryl Strawberry did it. Cespedes has every chance to shatter that. And we're keeping it away from him. 2-2.
So Carter's got to be an 86, right?
85.
85. Oh, that's right. 85 the first year.
I said Strawberry. It's Piazza, Carter, and Piazza. Piazza did it in 99. Got jammed that time. Well, he's hit 18 as a Tiger, 17 as a Met, and that is the entire list of players who have hit 17 or more home runs for 2 different teams in the same season.
Fred Milwaukee, some pretty good players in there.
And when we talk about Cespedes' MVP chances, the guy we often reference is Manny Ramirez with the Dodgers in 08. And the curveball got him looking. Cespedes out on strikes for the first out in the 3rd.
Pretty good curveball. It's more of a drop, but we called it when we were kids. A little 12-6 on your dial there, straight down. Oh, he didn't, kind of hung it too. I think it just kind of, Cespedes was waiting for it to break out over the plate, and it didn't. It just came right straight down. Stayed inside and tied him up.
So Calder's retired 6 in a row after a shaky start. And now we'll face Daniel Murphy, who grounded into a force play. We're talking about Manny Ramirez in 2008. Manny, after the trade to the Dodgers, hit .396, played in 53 games for LA, and drove in 53 runs. And he came the closest in the MVP balloting for a guy who was traded that late in the season. He finished 4th in the National League MVP race, which I get the impression is about the best Cespedes can hope for.
Well, he's going to get votes, but I just don't think he's going to get a lot of first or second place votes.
Well, I agree with you. Bohr makes the play on Murphy for the second out. I think, barring a total collapse down the stretch for the individual, not the team, Bryce Harper's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, he's going to have one of those years like '86 when Mike Schmidt won the MVP with a terrific year. A typical year for Mike Schmidt. Had an awesome offensive year.
But you know what Cespedes is concentrating on, as he said the other day? He wants to bring the big trophy to the big city.
That would be number 1 on my list. He has been inspired.
Here's David Wright, who drove in the only run of the game, doubling off the fence in right. In 2008, when Manny finished 4th, Albert Pujols won the MVP. Ryan Howard finished 2nd. Phillies won it all that year, and Ryan Braun finished 3rd. That's pulled down to 3rd, and Prado's got it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Tom Kohler, who's now retired 8 in a row. We played 3 now at Citi Field, 1-0 New York. Fourth inning at Citi Field. Christian Yelich leads off. Yelich grounded out slowly to third base his first time up. And DeGrom falls behind him 2-0. DeGrom faces Yelich, Prado, and Bohr in the fourth inning. Jake gave up leadoff hits in each of the first 2 innings, but he's retired the last 6, striking out 4 of the 6. And Yelich finds the hole on the right side, and there's a leadoff hit for the 3rd time in this game for the Marlins. Yelich's first hit in this series.
Not hit hard, but right where they ain't there on the right side of the infield.
Now Martin Prado, who grounded out to short his first time up. Justin Bohr waiting on deck.
All the hit and run is out of fashion today. Prado would be a prime hit and run guy about 30 years ago. Really handles the bat well. Line drive hitter. Good two-strike hitter. Professional hitter. We've always liked him up here in the booth. We've seen him for a long time, and he's a good player.
Second straight batter. DeGrom's falling behind 2-0. We first saw him as a Brave, and remember he had anxiety issues for a while during his tenure with the Braves, but he's overcome that, and he's become an important player on this Atlanta team, on this Miami team.
Well, he's more suited on a good ball club to be a number 2 hitter, not a number 3 hitter. He's a 2-hitter kind of guy, or if you have a really potent lineup, you can hit him 7th. He'd be a great 7th hitter, professional 7th hitter that could have a weak hitting 8th hitter behind him and still prosper.
That's line to center field, hustling in his Cespedes, but he'll have to play it on the hop. He barehands it. Boy,
ill-advised.
Some dangerous play there, but he's playing angry tonight after getting drilled in the first inning.
I don't know if this is anger. This is just not the right play here to make. There's too many things that can go wrong. Why do you have a glove then? Just go out there barehanded. But he's got big hands. Smothered that ball.
Yeah, he was thinking maybe he could surprise Yelich coming around second, but he wants to do something in your face to the Marlins tonight. So the first 2 men on for Miami in the 4th. And now Justin Bour, who had a base hit, leading off in the 2nd.
Oh, good fastball. Reach back for something extra. Bour's a fastball hitter and a first ball fastball hitter. Big, powerful left-hander. Likes the ball middle in down. Doesn't like the wrinkle or the changeup. That's what I love about DeGrom. Right after him, Gary.
Make a mistake with a breaking ball against him either. We saw that against Matt Harvey earlier this year.
The breaking ball hanging tends to go a lot further for some reason.
Or hang the slider out of the ballpark against Matt. DeGrom's got him down in the count 0-2 with Ozuna on deck. Slapped over third. That's a fair ball going down the line. That'll bring in Yelich with the tying run. Prado to third. He'll be held up there. It's an RBI double for Justin Bour to get the game even at 1.
Pretty good 2-strike hitting right there. Very good. The dead pull hitter, power hitter, shows it can go the other way. Surprise, surprise. And very nicely done by the ball guy down there. Very tempted to go out there and snake that ball, and he let it go.
So the Marlins have tied it on Bour's second hit of the night. Now they have second and third and nobody out for Ozuna, who took a call third strike his first time up. Mets have the infield back.
Be careful inside with this guy. He swung the bat good in that series in Miami when they took 2 out of 3 from the Mets, and he hurt the Mets twice on fastballs in. Very quick bat.
Just 24 years old, trying to put together a good ending to a bad season. The Marlins gave DeGrom fits in that last start in Miami. They had 9 hits and 3 runs against him in 6 innings.
He struggled in that outing, Gary, but he pitched really good in Washington.
1-1. It's a foul ball. And it's 1-2 to Ozuna. City probables for the final game of the series tomorrow. Bartolo Colon looks to continue his incredible role against the rookie left-hander Adam Conley.
Look who's leading the Mets, highly vaunted Mets rotation in wins.
No innings limit.
Senor Viejo.
It's lined into center field. A base hit for Ozuna. That brings in Prado, and the Marlins take the lead. Bohr moves over to third. So 4 straight hits from Miami to start this 4th inning, and the Marlins lead 2-1.
Told you he was so quick inside. Bohr, another poor read of a line drive. This ball's in, and he turns on it. He's quick. Look at Bohr. Who's going to catch that? Justin, you got a break. Who's playing up the middle? Nobody. You got to be kidding me. We see so much of that today. Yeah, you cost me a ribeye steak.
So 2 runs are in. Dan Warthen out to try and settle DeGrom down. We'll face Derek Dietrich with 1st and 3rd and nobody out. Bohr at 3rd, Ozuna at 1st. 2 runs home for the Marlins in the 4th. And now DeGrom has some serious work to do to prevent this inning from blowing up on him. Dietrich struck out his first time up. And he goes after the first pitch curve, 0-1.
The Marlins are a feisty bunch. They haven't dialed it in. They have not got one foot on the bus. We've seen a lot of teams that are going looking for that back door or even the side door to get out and get down south and take 6 months off and chill.
And some of that credit has to go to Dan Jennings, a guy who never managed before. Took over the reins after they fired Mike Redmond. They moved him down from the GM's slot. He will not be back as manager next year. But I found it very interesting. Jennings, in conversation with Terry Collins when the Mets were in Miami, said, you know, as a GM, we tend to discount how important the clubhouse is in generating a winning team. He said, I have learned so much about how important the clubhouse and chemistry is, stuff that as general managers we poo-poo. It's of utmost importance. So that's a good thing to take back to the front office with him. DeGrom strikes out Dietrich for the first out of the inning.
Very interesting, Gary, how DeGrom went to the breaking ball enough to get the out there, hurting him on his fastball. And getting back to Jennings, I think what Jennings found out more than anything else, not so much the good guys in the clubhouse.
Right.
This is a team that's not had a good season. It's the bad apples, and all it takes is one or a few to ruin the whole bushel.
And they moved some people out after Jennings took over toward the trade deadline.
That's what I feel he discovered.
Yep. Here's Real Muto, popped up his first time up. But I think that's important. I mean, it's, you know, it's almost like the CEO going down and being in the trenches and finding out what the job is really like. It might help Jennings down the road in his job as GM if he goes back to that job, and that's by no means assured. But wherever he lands, to have a better appreciation of that. You know, we're in a very different era now in baseball where general managers have far more power and managers have far less power than they've ever had. But the one thing a manager can control is how he deals with his team on a day-to-day motivational basis.
And I'll say one thing, and I'll say it after this pitch. Good slider. He's gone to his breaking ball. Very wise. We've been around Terry Collins now. What's his 5 years. I've watched Terry, and particularly this year, he has such a pulse on the clubhouse, doesn't he, in his players?
Real Muto lifts one to right. Granderson over. Tagging at third is Bohr. Bohr heading home. The throw will go to second. It's a sacrifice fly for JT Real Muto, and the Marlins have put up a 3 spot here in the 4th inning and now lead 3-1. What Terry aspires to do every day, and it's not always possible, especially when you have 38 players the way the Mets do now. He aspires to talk to every player on his team every day. And it may not seem like a big deal, but it means a lot to the players, and I think it helps Terry have the pulse that you talk about.
Sorry about that. Got something in my throat.
All choked up just thinking about it.
Your words and just floored me.
Here's Miguel Rojas, and he takes inside for ball 1.
Well, I think it's more important today for coaches, managers to communicate with their players. I think the players are more needy in that regard. I played for Red Shanties. He went 3 weeks without even saying one word to me. Red was, but I asked Red later.
There goes Ozuna. The throw by d'Arnaud on a hop, and he got him. d'Arnaud 2 for 2 gunning down base runners tonight. He got Gordon in the first inning, and now he picks off Ozuna to end the inning. 2-4 on the caught stealing, but a good inning for Miami. Ball that Travis had to reach for and still made the accurate one-hop throw. 3 runs for the Marlins, and they lead 3-1.
Gary, trivia question. Can you name 4 Mets tied for most walk-off home runs in the history of the Metsies? 4. Who are they? Gary, you said?
I said Strawberry, Beltran, Piazza, and Dave Marshall.
Okay, go. Chris Jones?
I remember that. That was in the early 90s.
Cleon.
I got 1 right.
McReynolds. That's right. McReynolds got a lot of home runs laid. Yes.
Chris Jones had only 12 home runs as a Met, and 4 of them were walk-offs.
I don't remember him.
1995 and 96.
Oh, that's when I wasn't watching baseball.
Yeah. Well, where were you?
I was
on the beach somewhere?
Finding myself somewhere in a lonely mountain.
Oh, good for you. Did you reach the top of the mountain? Did you find the guru? Michael Conforto leads off a home 4th. Do you have a mantra?
I do have a mantra.
By the way, Keith, you did not make that list because you only had 1 walk-off home run as a Met.
Kent Tekulve.
That's right. 11th inning, 1987, August 3rd.
Yep. And right over the bullpen gate at Shea, at Old Shea. Won the ball game. Started us. What year was that?
87.
That got us. That was the official. I've been in a slump.
That was the year of the injured pitcher.
That's when the Daily News was after my hide. And I had been in a prolonged slump, and I hit that home run, and Let's just say I made them eat crow for the last 5 weeks of my season.
Another poor player maligned by the media. Conforto down on the curveball, and there's the third strikeout for Kohler. 1 out of the 4th. Let's check in with Steve Gelb. Steve.
Gary, Michael Conforto just strikes out there. He's in the unique position this year, though, as he progresses, of being taken under the wing by a guy who he's essentially taken a job from, Michael Kadire. Kadire is really acting as a mentor towards Michael Conforto, teaching him the ropes, the intricacies of playing here at the big leagues. An example that Conforto gave last Wednesday, 9th inning. Conforto at first base. He runs out a double play ball and slides right into second base. Comes into the dugout. Michael Kadire says, listen, yeah, good effort, but you're probably not going to beat out a lot of double play balls. So in that situation, watch where the second baseman or shortstop, where he sets up, what side of the bag, slide that way, give the guy behind you a better chance. It's those little things that Kadire is teaching Conforto here.
Well, we know that Kadire, Steve, is one of the best base runners on the Mets. He's one of the best, I feel, at breaking up double plays. And, you know, there's more to the game than just what you do up at the plate or what's obvious out in the field. It's the base running part, the little things. So, yes.
A little flare by d'Arnaud, and that'll land for a base hit. So d'Arnaud not only getting the big hits, but now the duck snorts as well. And that snapped a string of 9 in a row retired by Kohler. You'd have to say that for a 22-year-old player who came to the big leagues with a reputation as a hitter, that Conforto has done a lot more things well than I think we expected.
In the immortal words of Stan Musial, what makes you a good two-strike hitter? Albert Pujols asked Stan, and Stan said, knowledge of the strike zone.
Dubin drives one out to left. But Dietrich gets back and makes the catch. And that's one of the hardest balls Duda's hit since coming back from the disabled list. But Dietrich in the right spot for the second out.
You know, and getting back, it's an easy play for Dietrich here. Ball hit hard, but playing deep. Outfield today playing much deeper than they did yesterday, where they got caught with their pants down, cost them a ball game. But getting back to Conforto has an excellent eye at the plate. Doesn't swing at too many bad pitches.
Now Ruben Tejada with 2 out and a runner at first. Could not have been a more beautiful day in New York today, and it is carried over into the evening. Just a perfectly comfortable evening for watching a game. Ball and a strike to Tejada. Well, the Mets had Tom Kohler on the ropes in the first inning. First 5 batters, single, hit by pitch, fielder's choice, double walk. They had a run in. And bases loaded with 1 out, but could not score any further, and Kohler's been in charge ever since. And now working with the lead for the first time in this inning. Jacob deGrom would be next. And the Pirates just went in front of the Cubs. Pick that note. Cubs still lead 2-0 in the 5th. I was looking at the first game.
It's going to be tough to take 2 there. Those 2 good teams at that doubleheader up in Pittsburgh.
One of the unsung heroes for the Pirates since the trading deadline has been Jay Happ. We saw him shortly after he came over to Pittsburgh, and he looked good. He's been great filling in their rotation. After coming over from Seattle, he's pitching tonight for Pittsburgh.
You just never know what you're going to get sometimes with journeymen.
Kohler behind 3-1 on Tejada. And Ruben lines one to the left for a base hit. d'Arnaud around second, heads for third. Dietrich cuts it off deep, and d'Arnaud's going to have to stop at third. Tejada pulls in with a double. You love to send the runner there because you got the pitcher coming up next, but Dietrich did a good enough job cutting that ball off that Tim Tuffle had no choice but to stop d'Arnaud.
Well, nicely done by Ruben. Got a fastball right down the pipe. Too bad just didn't get to the wall. Cut off. And there's your difference right there for d'Arnaud not being able to score. And d'Arnaud runs, you know, pretty good for a catcher. Good follow through from Ruben. We've always known that Ruben takes a full cut for a little guy.
21st double of the year for Tejada. So the tying runs in scoring position with 2 out for DeGrom, who struck out his first time up. And the curveball sits high. Jake has 9 hits, 2 RBIs this year.
Now the outfield's playing shallow, and I agree with this. It's the pitcher up, even though DeGrom swings the bat well.
And he pulls one on the ground right at Gordon. And so Kohler able to sidestep trouble in that 4th inning. Mets leave 2 in scoring position. 3-1 Marlins after 4. Regular season game of 2015. All fans in attendance will receive a 2016 Mets Magnet schedule courtesy of Hyundai. For tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets. Tonight's T-Mobile Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag SNY Data Strong Fan, and you can see yourself in an upcoming broadcast.
Look at those seats those kids are in.
In the front row.
They don't need sunglasses. I mean, binoculars, do they? Need haircuts.
Like him. 5 strikeouts for DeGrom tonight, but he's down in the game 3-1 as we start the 5th.
All of a sudden he's got his slider. He's realized, okay, I think he was feeling his oats, DeGrom, with his good fastball. And in that 4th inning, 4 straight base hits, he said, okay, I need to mix it up. Throwing good breaking stuff.
And he gets that curveball over for a strike to Rojas, and it's 0-2. Rojas, Kohler, and Gordon 8, 9, and 1 in the order for the Marlins in the 5th. Miami 3 runs, 6 hits. The Mets 1 run, 4 hits.
Mets in a traditional straightaway defensive setup. And all the today's game with all the shifts. This is a traditional defensive setup right here. It's around as straight away as you can get.
Let's do less shifting than most. Roll to the right side for Duda. DeGrom over quickly to cover. 1 out. It's an underrated piece of the Mets' strong young pitching is that they all handle the defensive part of it pretty well.
They're all athletic. That's why.
And they've got a nice mentor in Cologne.
I am very anxious.
Kohler drills one out to right field, chasing Granderson back, and he beats him. Tom Kohler with his first extra base hit of the season. A 1-out double.
Well, he surprised him there. Jumped on the first pitch, down and out over the plate.
That is the 12th hit of Tom Kohler's career in 134 major league at bats. So he's never cast a very menacing shadow, but he slugged that one well the other way. So runner in scoring position with 1 out, the 7th hit for the Marlins. And now the 3rd time around the batting order for D. Gordon. Is 1 for 2 tonight. And that's lined over Murphy and into right center. Kohler will go to 3rd and pull in there. So Gordon has his 2nd hit of the night. And the Marlins threatening again, 1st and 3rd and 1 out.
Similar pitch that Gordon got a base at his first at bat. Down. Pretty good pitch right there. Change up sinking. You saw the late sink. Sometimes you got to tip your hat. Yeah, I know what you're laughing about, but we won't go there. Sometimes you tip your hat to the hitter. They're getting paid too.
Did he think he was fooling?
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? We're watching the same game.
Here's Christian Yelich, who's 1 for 2, singled and scored in the 4th inning. Then DeGrom had another mess and misses outside ball 1. Marlins had a little fun before the game tonight with Christian Yelich. If you watch Saturday Night Live, you know there's a young actor named Pete Davidson on the show, and Pete Davidson bears a striking resemblance to Christian Yelich. And Pete came to the ballpark tonight. He drilled toward the gap in right center, and that's going to go all the way back to the wall. Kohler comes in to score. Gordon with his speed is going to be held at 3rd. And they'll just settle for the 1 run on the double by Yelich to make it 4-1 Miami. And DeGrom getting hit around now.
Fastball again, Gary. The location's not there. He set up inside d'Arnaud, and it bled out over the middle. Here comes Dan Warthen to have a little chit chat. And Gordon not to be able to score here.
I'm shocked that he didn't score.
A little wide turn on second here.
Now, this is the roughest outing for DeGrom since that game in Philly where he got knocked out in the 3rd inning. He's been touched tonight for 4 runs and 9 hits. And he's got more trouble to work out of here in the 5th. Anyway, the Marlins brought Pete Davidson here, put him in a Marlins uniform with Yelich's name on the back, and they had a little fun before the game today. He's almost like separated at birth.
Twins.
Eric Goodell, the right-hander. Dario Alvarez, the left-hander, up in the Mets bullpen. Mets will bring the infield in here, already down 4-1. 2 in scoring position with 1 out. Martin Prado 1 for 2, singled and scored in the 4th.
This is the guy you want up if you're the Marlins.
And DeGrom finds the corner for a strike. Gordon at 3rd, Yelich at 2nd, both run well. And that's driven to left center field, cutting over his Conforto to make the catch. Gordon tags. He'll come in to score. And the Marlins tack on another run. Prado with a sacrifice fly to make it 5-1 Miami.
Prado just a tough out. this situation. It's tough to strike him out. Good changeup, down, not away enough, good hitting. And you know one thing, Gary, that we talked about Conforto and how he has not been a negative at all in the field. We've only talked about him getting the balls in his arm, how accurate he is. Not, you know, got an arm for a left fielder. He doesn't throw to the wrong base either.
Right. He knew not to throw home on that. He had no chance for Gordon. Threw it to third to make sure that Yelich didn't advance. Now Justin Bour is already 2 for 2 in this game, and both his hits have come on 0-2 pitches. Let's check in with Steve.
And you know, guys, we saw with Conforto right there the good straight route to the baseball. He said that's where he thinks he's improved much since as much as any place since coming up to the pro level after college. It's playing every day, which he didn't get to do in college. He's seeing the baseballs off of the bats on a daily basis and learning how to take the direct route to the baseball rather than a circuitous one.
Well, he's been outstanding out there. You know, we were all waiting to see. We heard that he, you know, subpar defensive outfielder.
That's what all the scouting reports said.
Have not seen it.
2-1 to Bour. Jacob deGrom has given up 9 hits tonight. Only one team has gotten 9 hits against deGrom, and now the Marlins have done it twice. Last time he faced them, and again tonight.
And Bour lines one into center field. That's down for a hit. They'll hold Yelich at third. He runs through the stop sign, and Cespedes' throw is offline. The throw to second by d'Arnaud, and Bour is tagged out to end the inning. But Bour, with his 3rd hit of the night, drives in his 2nd run of the night. And it's another big inning for the Marlins. They put up their 2nd straight 3-run inning against deGrom, 6-1.
Jacob deGrom, he's given up 6 runs and 10 hits over 5 innings. Justin Bour having a big night, 3 for 3, couple of RBIs. It's the early lead, but the Marlins with back-to-back 3-run innings lead 6-1.
Those people all down there, they're missing the ball game out here.
No, they're watching on TV, Keith. They're listening to every word you say.
Well, you had Kohler on the ropes in the 1st inning. Bases loaded, 1 out. How many times does it happen when you let a pitcher pitch out of it? Or as a hitter, we used to say it was never the pitcher pitching out of it. We'd say we let him off the hook. That they go from there and pitch great. And It's an opportunity lost. It's a long way to go the way the Mets been playing.
Only temporarily lost the way it's been going. 1-2 to Granderson. Just in this last week, the Mets overcame a 6-run deficit in Washington in the middle game of that series. Granderson gets tied up and he went around, strike 3. Dan Iasonia punching him out. That's the 4th strikeout for Kohler.
He did not swing. I'd be hot if that was me. That is not even close.
Not even close.
Come on, Mervin.
That's Dan.
Oh, sorry, Dan. Come on, Dan.
Do we have a Mervin as an umpire? Here's Cespedes, who was drilled by Kohler in the first inning. Took some vicious hacks before striking out looking in the 3rd. Gloves hanging out of the back pocket look.
Willie Mays, when he used to get on base.
But he's got the batting gloves on his hands and the running gloves in the pocket.
Well, the way he's been hitting wouldn't surprise me if he had 4 hands.
The strength of 1,000 men. Like he's holding his back after that last swing. Swings so viciously.
Very barrel-chested, Yoenis Cespedes, strong back, shoulders.
Another mighty cut, and he fouls it back. They've gone to the 7th in Philadelphia. Nats leading the Phillies 2-0 behind Steven Strasburg, who's given up only 1 hit in 6 innings.
And Strasburg pitched a good game against the Mets, if you remember, in that series. And got
until we met Kelly Johnson.
Kelly off the bench. Terry Collins pushing the right button.
Just off the corner. 2-2 to Cespedes. And Johnson at the tying home run. That's got another runner on base, and then they brought in Storen to face Cespedes. And that didn't go well for the Nats.
And Strasburg was instead of Steven in the paper, he was Lawrence Strasburg in the paper the next day.
And Storen, after giving up the home run, then slammed his locker, broke his thumb, and he's done for the year.
He was almost committed.
It's almost as though he closed the door on the national season.
Let's get it over with. 17 games after tonight.
2-2. Cespedes lifts one to right. Ozuna with plenty of room. 2 out. Cespedes as yet unable to exact any revenge after getting drilled in the first inning. And now Murphy, who's been up twice and grounded out both times. Kohler at only 76 pitches. Grounded toward the hole, and Bohr cuts it off nicely. Hits Kohler on the run, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Tom Kohler. We're through 5 at Citi Field. It's a Marlins night so far tonight. 6-1 Miami. MetsBlog.com for WB Mason Postgame Extra, an exclusive online postgame show featuring more reaction from tonight's Mets-Marlins game and additional analysis from us here in the booth on Mets Blog, presented by Citi, part of the SNY.TV blog network. Your People's United Bank starting pitchers, and lo and behold, Tom Kohler out pitching Jacob deGrom tonight.
I think that it took this crowd by surprise. There's Eric Goodell. His numbers, he's having a fine season. Came out of nowhere. San Francisco neighborhood guy for me.
Marcelo Zuna leads off against Goodell. He grounds the first pitch to Tejada. One pitch and one out for Goodell in the 6th inning. Goodell's last outing was in Atlanta on Friday night. Pitched a 1-2-3 inning. And the Mets 5-1 win that night. Had some elbow problems that kept him out for a couple of months. And now here down the stretch, competing for a spot on the postseason roster of several competitions that will be ongoing over the next few weeks. There's Derek Dietrich, who's been up twice and struck out both times. And in that bullpen, the only givens are Familia, Clippard, and at this point now Addison Reed.
I think Robles has a leg up on everybody.
I agree with that.
I think he's in, Garrett.
I just think performance over these next couple of weeks is going to matter for some of these guys.
The big thing is the left-handed side, the port side. Do you carry? There's 3 right now on the roster. I would love for them not to have more than one lefty.
Another chance for Tejada. And he throws on Dietrich. Well, at this point, unless he has a tremendous revival, it's hard to envision Eric O'Flaherty as part of the mix. Sean Gilmartin has pitched well, but he's not a lefty specialist. And then there's Dario Alvarez. And we don't know yet.
So you want 2 left-handers in your bullpen? You hate, we've seen a lot of Met teams over the few years. You're with only one guy out there, and it really straps a manager.
Gilmartin is not a guy you're going to bring in to face Adrian Gonzalez in the big spot in the 7th or 8th inning. So if you have Colon as your long man, which might be the case if he's not in the starting rotation, do you need a guy like Gilmartin, who's really there more to give you length than anything else?
All I'm looking at right now is late in the ball game, and you got to get that big Dodger first baseman out.
Right. And the only guy that I can envision in that role at this point among the left-handers is Alvarez, if indeed he performs well enough over the next couple of weeks to make you confident.
And very untested.
Right. Well, that's why these next couple of weeks are so important. Because otherwise you're going to have to rely on Tyler Clippard in that spot, because he is proficient at getting lefties out. Check swing by Real Muto. Another chance for Tejada. 3 assists in the inning for Tejada. And a 1-2-3 inning for Eric Goodell. To the bottom of the 6th we go. 6-1 Miami.
3 putouts for Duda.
Jets are giving back to the community with the SNY Play Ball program, supporting local football leagues with grants, equipment, donations, clinics, and Jets game experiences. Find out more about SNY's Play Ball Football Week on Geico Sports Night tonight at 10:30 only on SNY. There's your Verizon line score. A couple of 3-run innings chasing Jacob deGrom after 5. Tom Kohler with a 6-1 lead as he faces the Mets in the bottom of the 6th. David Wright will lead off for New York. David has driven in the only Met run. That came in the first inning. He doubled high off the fence in right field. Mets then loaded the bases with 1 out. Couldn't score any further against Kohler, and he's been in command ever since. Kohler against Wright, 2 sons of decorated police officers. David's dad recently retired from the police force down in Virginia. Kohler's dad was an NYPD sergeant.
Really? So
and he was on the scene on 9/11. Got there after the second tower was hit. Rolf Kohler, Tom's dad. 1-1 to right, and the curveball. 2-1. Michael Conforto on deck, then Travis d'Arnaud. And Kohler falls behind 3-1.
Oh, by the way, did you see those hideous 49er uniforms last night?
You know, I didn't watch the game, but
Oh, what were they thinking?
Our statistician Dave Freed got to see them firsthand. He was out there last night.
It was hideous.
All the way back here to be with us tonight.
One of the most beautiful uniforms in the NFL. I know you want to sell jerseys, but that's going too far.
Wright draws a leadoff walk. That's the second walk issued by Kohler tonight. Well, the Mets down by 5 runs in the 6th inning. The last 5 games that the Mets have trailed in the 6th inning or later, they've won.
Yes.
It's the longest such streak in Mets history.
They got that 3-run streak going on too. It's in jeopardy. I don't mean Art Fleming on this one either.
12 outs to work with, Keith. There's a lot of time left. Did you say Art Fleming?
Yes.
Wow, it's really dating yourself. Did you mention Don Parno?
Yes. I actually met Art Fleming. How he was on the air. He was a wonderful man, full of energy.
That was back in the low-tech days of Jeopardy.
Yep.
Before Alex.
Truth of consequences.
1-1 to Conforto. Travis d'Arnaud waits on deck. Conforto has walked and struck out tonight, 0 for 1. And the curveball fouled off. 1-2. Tom Kohler, the second player from Stony Brook University ever to play in the majors. First one, Joe Nathan, after whom the stadium at Stony Brook is now named. Lifted foul off the left side. And out of play. Joe Nathan was a shortstop at Stony Brook.
All those pitchers that go to the big leagues, or even in the minor league, professionally, they're always the athletes. They pitched. You can't pitch every game, so you have a position you play.
But it's like deGrom, guy who was a college shortstop,
precisely.
became a major league pitcher, and in Nathan's case, an outstanding closer. Curveball drilled. Foul.
This guy's a good looking hitter.
Kohler's given up 20 home runs this year. And
Mets needed a new ball there. Well, he needed a new one anyway, but you get the idea.
Yes.
1-2 to Conforto with right at first, and it's pulled into right for a base hit. Oh, what a terrific turn at bat that was from Michael Conforto. He's on base for the second time tonight, and the Mets are building something in the sixth. First and second, nobody out.
It was like Kohler had nothing to get the young Conforto out with. Just a terrific at bat, beautiful swing. This kid is going to be one of the top hitters in the game. Loved him when I saw him in spring training. And the more and more I see of him, if he keeps his head on straight, and I believe he will, sky's the limit.
Now d'Arnaud, who had a big chance in the first inning with the bases loaded, 1 out, and popped up on the first pitch. Then he blooped a single into right his last time up, 1 for 2. And d'Arnaud grounds a double play ball. Rojas to Gordon, and on to first for the 6-4-3 double play, and just like that, the air comes out.
Pitcher's best friend.
So 2 out. Wright winds up at third. And now Kohler with a chance to get through the inning with Lucas Duda coming up. Duda hit one to left field that was caught at the edge of the warning track by Dietrich his last time up, as solidly as Duda has hit a ball since coming back from the DL. Lucas just 3 for 24 since his return over 8 games. And he gets under this one out to right center field. Ozuna has plenty of room. And that retires the side. So the Mets, an inning that started well and finished quickly after 6-1 Miami. Tomorrow night, then a breather for the Mets on Thursday before the Yankees come in for a conflagration over the weekend. First time the two teams have played this late in the season, and it should be a spectacular 3 days. Then the Mets welcome in the Braves for 3, then embark on their last road trip to Cincinnati and Philadelphia.
And very important games for the Yankees.
The Yankees are playing in Tampa Bay tonight. They're up 3-2 in the 6th. Miguel Rojas leads off in the 7th inning against Eric Goodell, who threw a 7-pitch 1-2-3-6. Rojas has been up twice and grounded out both times, and he hits a ground ball for Tejada, but that one goes off his glove, and Rojas is aboard. So Tejada, who handled 3 Ground balls flawlessly in the 6th, unable to come up with this hot shot, and that'll be scored a base hit.
Thought he could have made this play here. It looks like he kind of just short-armed it here. Let's take a look. No, I got by him. Ruben got a new haircut, looks like. Uh-oh. Little FOMO.
Kohler up there looking to bunt. And that one sails to the backstop.
There you go.
That's a very wild pitch.
Yes, it is.
And perhaps Goodell trying to retaliate for Cespedes being hit earlier, and now the home plate umpire Del Scott is warning both dugouts.
That's too bad he didn't hit him. Sorry, folks, but that's
He pulled a Sean Estes.
You drill our guy. You drill our guy. You got to hit too.
And Del Scott explaining to Travis d'Arnaud why he issued the warnings.
I guarantee you one thing, there's one player out there going to love that, and that's the guy out in center field.
Well, he's not going to love the fact that he missed. Remember what happened when Estes tried to hit Roger Clemens, who had hit Piazza and then thrown the bat at him in the World Series. And poor Estes, who wasn't even a part of that team, was asked to retaliate because Clemens finally came to bat against the Mets 2 years later, and he threw the ball behind Roger and missed him. But Estes got his comeuppance later in that game. He had a home run against Clemens.
Yes. Incredibly.
Let's look for the bunt from Kohler. And he takes a rip. Yeah, why not? He hit a double over Granderson's head his last time up. Miami already with a 6-1 lead. Kohler has 11 sacrifice bunts this year, up among the league leaders. And that one comes in on him and he bunts it foul. So warning or no warning, Goodell still pitching inside. And I would imagine if you're a pitcher, you can't let the fact that there's a warning dissuade you from using half the plate.
Yeah, but it's the inside part of the plate. I like the way I like what happened. Okay, I've been corrected. It's not a faux mo, it's a faux hawk.
Well, you're allowed to create your own fashion trends. Breaking ball gets him looking. So Kohler winds up striking out.
I like faux mo better. It sounds better.
Start a whole new Twitter meme.
It rhymes.
That's going to make a pitching change, and they'll make a double switch as well. So Terry Collins will bring in the left-hander with the two left-hand hitters Gordon and Yelich coming up. Goodell will exit after an inning and a third. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. Eric O'Flaherty coming in. First base, Kelly Johnson comes in to play second. He'll bat ninth. And Eric O'Flaherty will pitch and bat seventh.
There's O'Flaherty's numbers. It's a good game to get him out in right now. Get him some work. Give him a look. It's a tryout camp here.
Two left-hand hitters for him to face, Gordon and Yelich. Gordon already 2 for 3 today, singled and scored in the 5th. For O'Flaherty, it's his first game in 11 days. He last pitched in Miami. Worked a third of an inning. Runs that sinker in on Gordon, and it's 0-2. Now Bryce Harper's homered for the second time tonight, his 39th of the year. This one an opposite field shot, and the Nats lead the Phillies 4-0. Strasburg, by the way, 13 strikeouts in 7 innings. That's back-to-back 13 strikeout games for Strasburg. He had 13 against the Mets last week as well. 1-2 to Gordon with Christian Yelich on deck. Eric O'Flaherty's been working hard with Dan Warthen in his bullpen sessions, trying to rediscover his sinker that made him so effective when he was in Atlanta, working the 7th inning in front of Johnny Venters and Craig Kimbrell. That's looped over the glove of Johnson, a base hit. Rojas to third, he'll pull in there. So Gordon picks up his 3rd hit of the night. His 32nd hit against the Mets this season.
Same type of hit as his 2nd hit in the 5th. Watch him let go with one hand. A little flick of the wrist. Very nice.
He's figured it out, hasn't he?
That's nice. You know, what are you going to do? He hit a bullet.
So that's a dozen hits now for the Marlins. 1st and 3rd and 1 out. And now Yelich, who has a single, a double. He's driven in a run. He's scored 2. Rojas at 3rd, Gordon at 1st and 1 out. And Flaherty misses outside. Well, Jacob deGrom started, went 5 innings, allowed 6 runs and 10 hits, and I would imagine, Keith, if they were thinking about skipping him before, they're probably a lot more firm about the idea of skipping him now.
So Logan Verrett will be getting ready.
Gordon runs, slow ground ball. Johnson's going to go to first as a run comes home. With Gordon running, no chance for a double play. So Rojas comes in to score to make it 7-1. So Yelich drives in his 2nd run of the night. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com.
Well, this is a rarity tonight when the Mets are getting it handed to them.
Well, it's going to make that late inning comeback a little more problematic. Yeah. Now the intentional walk will be issued to Prado so that O'Flaherty can go after the left-hand hitter Bohr instead. So Prado already has a single and a sacrifice fly tonight. We'll get the intentional pass. This will be the first walk of the night for Met pitching.
And there was a day when a manager would, at this point late in the game, would pitch to Prado, but Terry's still managing to win.
I think honestly, Keith, I think it's all about O'Flaherty getting to face some more left-hand hitters.
I agree.
Because if he's ever going to reestablish himself, that's going to be his role. Tomorrow night, final game of the series, Mets and Marlins, right here on SNY with Bartolo Colon on the mound. 6 o'clock the coverage tomorrow night. So here is Bohr, who nobody has gotten out tonight. He's 3 for 3, 2 singles, a double. He's driven in a run. He's scored a run. Gordon at 2nd, Prado at 1st with 2 down. A run home from Miami here in the 7th. Dee Gordon with 3 hits tonight. It's the 22nd time this year he's had 3 hits or more in a game.
Well, that's why he's hitting This one will get him over 330, will it not? Yes, it will.
179 hits now. That's the most in the major leagues. He'd been tied with Jose Altuve of the Astros with 176 when the night began. There's the good slider by O'Flaherty, and he had Bohr flailing. 1-1. Marlins tonight with runners in scoring position, 6 hits in 9 at bats. For a team that is hitting .239 for the year in that department. And O'Flaherty falls behind Bohr 3-1. Well, this is going to be his last batter one way or another. Either he gets Bohr out or Terry will bring in a right-hander to face Ozuna. And that right-hander, Bobby Parnell, getting ready now. 3-1 from O'Flaherty, and Bohr bounces it foul. 3-2. Eric Goodell worked an inning and a third in relief, gave up 1 hit, now charged with a run after Rojas came in to score. But Goodell pitched well. The only thing he failed to do was hit Tom Kohler when he tried.
Yes.
And he wound up with a wild pitch for his efforts, which wound up costing him a run. Runners get set to go. 3-2 coming. And Bohr swings and misses, strike 3. So O'Flaherty able to get the left-hand hitter out to end the inning. 7th inning stretch time, 7-1 Miami. Tonight, just a run on 5 hits. David Wright, the only RBI, a first inning double. That's down 7-1 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Ruben Tejada will lead off against Tom Kohler, who's bidding for his 10th win of the year and only his 2nd win ever against the Mets. Kohler's gone 10 starts against the Mets since that one and only win. Kohler started the night with an ERA on the road of almost 5, up among the worst in the National League. That's presented by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Enter promo code NYM for free entry. Kohler walked the leadoff batter in the 6th inning, then gave up a hit to Conforto, but got a double play ball to help him through the inning. Now he's behind 2-0 on Tejada, who doubled over the third base bag his last time up. Kelly Johnson sitting 9th in the order. He's on deck. And Tejada grounds another one behind the bag at third, but this one goes foul. 2-1. Nobody throwing in the Marlins bullpen. Kohler at 94 pitches working in the 7th inning. Now, whose number 12 do you suppose that is?
Well, we know Ronnie. I remember Ronnie when he turned 44.
He was also 15 at one point.
Yeah, it was very peculiar that he would choose Willie McCovey. That's what always popped in my head.
Well, that's not really a pitcher's number.
When you're right.
Hank Aaron. 3-1 on the way. And that's outside, ball 4. So Kohler walks the leadoff batter for a second straight inning. His 3rd walk of the night. And now Kelly Johnson up for the first time. Is that Dire Straits as his walk?
Yes, that's it.
That's that.
Your MTV. Money for nothing. Kelly 3 for 6 with a home run and 2 RBIs as a pinch hitter for the Mets. A big home run.
And the go-ahead hit in Atlanta on Saturday night in the 9th inning. And Kohler behind 2-0. And that'll get a visit from Real Muto. And now there is action in that Marlin bullpen. The veteran lefty Mike Dunn is up.
We've seen a lot of Mike Dunn over the years.
And Chuck Hernandez, the pitching coach, is going to come out and buy Dunn some time as well. Well, let's return to our Toyota tweet of the game. We asked you whether you thought Yoenis Cespedes deserves to win the National League MVP. And here are some of the comments. We'll get some votes. Okay. MVP will go to a guy in the league for the whole year. That's from Andy. Charlie says he can go for World Series MVP. That's
very
a great
good
thought, Charlie.
Charles.
Or even NLCS. Tim says numbers don't lie.
Tim's very emotional.
Molly says he should be the MVP. Important and influential component of a successful playoff push. Very eloquently put.
He's been good.
He's been great.
Yeah.
2-1 to Johnson with Curtis Granderson waiting on deck. Kohler about to throw his 100th pitch of the night. He's thrown as many as 112 in a game this year. And Johnson takes outside. Now it's 3-1.
It's 7-1 ball game, and you're throwing a 2-1 changeup. And this is a lot of difference in the game today. It used to be the old American League was the old junk ball league, and the National League where they come after you. 6-run lead. You're trying to trick people.
And Johnson takes a borderline strike, 3-2.
Boy. Wow.
Ben's not happy with Dale Scott's judgment there.
Thought it was up.
You can see why. So now it's a full count to Kelly. And that's ball 4. No question about that one. So back-to-back walks issued by Kohler to start the inning, and that'll be the last pitch he throws tonight.
Hard to believe.
We'll bring in the left-hander to face Curtis Granderson. So Kohler issues his 3rd and 4th walks of the night to Tejada and Johnson. And the Mets, looking at a big uphill climb in the 7th inning, now have a little more sustenance to begin that trek uphill.
Well, they're just not conditioned to go 9, so they tucker out in the 7th. They got a 6-run lead, and they can't close the deal.
Curtis Granderson already getting the scouting report on Mike Dunn, whom he's seen before.
What would he need to know about him? Tell me.
Kohler takes his exit. His dad very happy about his performance tonight in front of family and friends. He leads with a 7-1 lead in the 7th. We'll be right back to Citi Field. On in the 7th.
Oh, 43rd career appearance against the Metropolitans. Had a blown save in that 3-game series back on September 4th against the Mets.
Tejada at second, Johnson at first, and nobody out. Curtis Granderson at the plate. Curtis 1 for 3 tonight. And misses badly for ball 1. It is completely unreasonable. But the nature of the streak the Mets are on, the crowd right now is acting as though they expect the Mets to come back and win this game.
They are in anticipation.
Yeah. I mean, it's completely unreasonable. But those are the times we live in. And that's outside, and now it's 2-0. Wow. Cespedes looms on deck. And the nature of this game could change in a big, big hurry. Thunder sticks at the ready. So Kohler walked 2 in a row. Now Dunn is behind Granderson 2-0 with a 6-run lead. And Curtis takes a borderline strike. They've gone to the 9th in Philly. Washington 4, Phillies nothing. Strasburg's allowed 1 hit through 8. So he's having quite a night. And Granderson fouls one at the plate. 96 from Dunn.
He's always been a hard thrower, Gary. It just gets a little wild. Fans are into it.
Strasburg, 8 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 14 strikeouts. He was overpowering for most of his start against the Mets, too.
Yeah. It was 75 and clear down in Philly today.
2-2. And Granderson goes down on strikes. So Dunn comes back to strike out Curtis for the first out of the inning.
Fastball away. Stood by him.
So now Cespedes, who's 0 for 2 tonight. He was hit by the first pitch he saw from Tom Kohler tonight back in the first inning. Cespedes homered against Dunn down in Miami. Well, this was the first inning.
Good one.
And it certainly looked like an intentional.
Oh, it definitely was. There was a day when that would be okay, and you hit the and that.
Goodell tried to retaliate and missed. And that drew warnings to both benches for any further retaliation. Once a warning has been issued, if the umpire judges that a hitter has been thrown at, then both the pitcher and his manager get ejected. Of course, it's a judgment call for the umpire as to what constitutes intent.
Well, when Cespedes was traded over, he was Detroit. He was hitting well under 200 against wake up Garrett, well under 200 against left-handers. As a Met in 28 games, he's hitting 289 with 5 home runs. So he's been hitting everybody.
Dunn ahead of him 1-2. And Cespedes down on the fastball. So Dunn has come in and struck out back-to-back hitters, Granderson and Cespedes, and they're 2 out.
There's that ball upstairs in the strike zone. And Cespedes a low ball hitter.
So a night of some frustration for Cespedes. Haven't seen that very often. Now 2 out and 2 on for Murphy, who's 0 for 3 tonight. And Murphy takes a slider out of the strike zone. Murphy's seen plenty of Mike Dunn. 18 at bats now against Dunn. He's got 5 hits. So they've battled on fairly even terms. 278 lifetime batting average for Murphy against Dunn. And Murphy fouls one back. 1-1. Tom Kohler went 6 innings plus through 102 pitches, left after the 2 walks here in the 7th, hoping Dunn can finish off the inning. Just 1 run allowed for Kohler so far tonight. Bobby Parnell, Hansel Robles up in the Mets bullpen. After O'Flaherty finished off the top of the 7th. Murphy rips one foul. Murphy with 223 career doubles, 2 behind Ed Cranepool for 2nd on the Mets all-time list.
Ed, of course, the all-time hit leader, Met hit leader at Shea Stadium.
And Ed is here tonight. So,
is he?
So I had Cranepool in the lobby when I walked in today. It was good to see the longest tenured Met in history. And Murphy goes down swinging, so Dunn comes in and strikes out 3 in a row to get Kohler out of difficulty in the 7th.
Wow.
After 7-1 Miami.
Good performance.
Will pitch the 8th inning for the Mets.
Well, Parnell, remember, had that really tough outing and then did not pitch for a while. Worked on it, gave him a little rest, worked on the mechanics with Dan Warthen. Last time out, pitched much better, had zip on his fastball.
That was Sunday in Atlanta when the Mets staged that remarkable comeback victory, and Parnell worked an inning and a third, wound up the winning pitcher in that game.
And the Mets really need Parnell to get back to form.
Well, he certainly is one of those guys who's on the bubble as far as participating on the postseason roster, so he'll need to perform over the last couple of weeks of the season. Marcell Ozuna hits his first pitch out to center field, and Cespedes right there to grab it. 1 pitch and 1 out for Parnell on the 8th. Now Derek Dietrich, who's 0 for 3.
Well, Dietrich's had a tough night. 2 punch-outs will go with that. 0 for 3.
It would be a great story for the Mets if Parnell can regain his form. It's a guy who was with the Mets through some of their darkest days over the last half dozen years, and got to the point 2 years ago where he became a valued closer. Looked like he was going to be able to run with that job. Then the neck problem came and he missed the rest of that year. Then after opening day last year, he blew out his elbow, had Tommy John surgery. So it's really been a lost almost 2 seasons for Bobby. Worked his way back from Tommy John surgery. Looked okay for a while, although his velocity has never been back to where it was when he was throwing 100 miles an hour.
Not yet. We'll see how he progresses.
But he's starting to throw a free and easy 94, 95 now, so who knows? When you get guys coming back from Tommy John, the recovery is uneven. And if this is the point where Parnell can get it in gear and figure out what he needs to do to be successful, that would be a tremendous lift for this team and for him. You know, you think about the guys who've been here the longest: David Wright, Daniel Murphy, Bobby Parnell. Those are the guys you want to have a big hand in October, the guys who've lived through the darkest days.
Well, it's much like what Mookie Wilson in that 80s year, right. Mookie and Jesse were the 2 remaining guys that were there and saw it go from the basement to the penthouse.
There's ball 4. So Dietrich's on with a 1-out walk. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Verizon. Don't miss a moment of Mets baseball on the largest, most reliable 4G LTE network, only from Verizon. Now JT Realmuto is 0 for 2, had a sacrifice fly to drive and a run in the 4th.
You notice when Parnell faces the left-handers, when he misses up and away, Gary doesn't drive that shoulder, tuck that shoulder.
Double play ball if they hurry. The turn by Johnson on a hop. Murphy picks it out. Double play, side retired. Nicely done all the way around. Tejada, Johnson, Murphy, 6-4-3. That's turn 2. Get Your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com.
They're having fun at the ballpark.
We've got great rhythm. Nice to see you too. New outfield alignment for the Marlins. Christian Yelich moves from center field to left field. Marcell Ozuna from right field to center field. Ichiro Suzuki will play right field and bat ninth, which means the new pitcher Brian Morris will hit sixth.
Morris acquired from this, I was going to say Steelers, geez, Pirates, more than a few years ago. I said points the other day, Steelers tonight.
You got football on your mind. David Wright leads off. There's always room for Broadway Joe.
There you go.
Well, the Mets were held in check for 6 innings by Tom Kohler. Mike Dunn was very impressive in striking out 3 in a row in the 7th. And now Morris working the 8th.
I'd like to see David get hot. Oh boy, some rowdies down there.
It's a final in Philadelphia. The Nats have beaten the Phillies 4-0 behind Steven Strasburg's dominant performance and Bryce Harper's 2 home runs. Michael Conforto on deck, so the Mets lead for the moment is at 9, and their magic number remains for the moment at 10. 1-2 to right. David drove in the only Met run with a long double in the first. He's grounded out and walked since. 3 for 6 in this series with 3 doubles. Now the 2-2 for Morris, and David takes it low on a full count. Mets have drawn a leadoff walk each of the last 2 innings. Trying to find their way back to yet another unlikely win. It's getting tougher and tougher by the inning. Three-two coming. Fouled off. Brian Morris, the 3rd Miami pitcher of the night. Seventh pitch of the at bat to right, and he reaches for one and fouls it off. Well, the Mets are not just scoreboard watching the Nationals. That game's over now. There's nothing left to watch. They're also scoreboard watching the Dodgers. Because the Mets are a half game behind LA for a possible home field advantage.
They're watching with interest in that Central too. It's 2-1 in the 9th with Chicago and Pittsburgh. That's a tight one. Pittsburgh won the first game.
But they're not likely to play any of those teams in the first round of the postseason. They're most likely to play the Dodgers. And, you know, Terry Collins was asked about whether the Mets are concerned about getting home field advantage, and he said, well, the first thing to do is clinch, but yes. And I loved his quote. He said, getting the home field advantage means that we wouldn't have to face those 2 animals out there in the shadows, meaning Kershaw and Greinke, in the first 2 games at Dodger Stadium. Here's ball 4, and Wright draws a leadoff walk. 3rd straight inning, the Mets have gotten the leadoff pass.
That's the 5th walk issued by Marlin pitchers with a 6-run lead. It's unforgivable, really. I recall, Gary, my second All-Star game. I believe it was 80 or 81 in LA, and J.R. Richards pitched in the shadows and was unhittable.
Conforto has a single and a walk tonight, 1 for 2. Of course, there is another way to look at it. I mean, yes, Kershaw and Greinke would be very tough in the shadows, but so would DeGrom and Harvey.
Sure.
So
both sides are going to be. It'll be advantage pitchers. There's Matt.
I mean, we're presuming tonight, notwithstanding, that DeGrom will be the Mets game 1 starter, and that Harvey would pitch game 2 if it were on the road. Probably Syndergaard would pitch game 2 if it were home, because he's had so much more success here. 1-1. Either way, Matt's only going to pitch 1 game in each series. I think that is the way the Mets are game planning it.
And I would think man right there, if the Mets get a home field advantage, would pitch game 2 in the playoffs.
How impressive was he as last?
Oh, he was lights out. Look at this.
Well, they gave Syndergaard 12 days off, and he seemed to respond positively to it. I don't think they'll give DeGrom that much time off, but I'm pretty sure they're going to push back his next start, and we'll see whether he can react similarly well.
He's a pacer. Look, I mean, not even pitching at paces. Can't sit still.
Blocking people's view. It's a big guy. Conforto rips one over the bag. That's a fair ball. Off the sidewall, right will go to third. Conforto digging for second, and he'll make it safely with a double. Boy, he's hit 2 bullets his last time, 2 times up. This one for his 11th double of the year. The Mets have second and third and nobody out.
Good slider down and in, ripped. He can hit. 2 more hits tonight. Just off the glove of Bohr. He's got what it takes.
Well, the Mets the last couple of innings have set the table but been unable to cash in. They got the first 2 men on in the 6th and didn't score. They got the first 2 men on in the 7th and didn't score. They've got the first 2 men on again.
Well, d'Arnaud hitting that double play in the 6th.
d'Arnaud is 1 for 3 tonight. Kirk Neuenhuis out on deck to pinch hit with the pitcher hitting 7th in the order.
Lead off walks.
d'Arnaud fouls one back.
Boy, you gotta.
Well, first inning, the Mets had a 1-0 lead. d'Arnaud came up with the bases loaded.
First ball hitting. Went after a slider and went down on his knees. Not a swing he probably regrets. And Duda got jammed.
So the Mets managed just the 1 run in that first inning, and that's all Tom Kohler allowed tonight in his 6 innings plus. Grounded to short. That'll bring in a run. Rojas gets the out. And Wright crosses the plate. Now it's 7-2 Miami. Conforto holding at second, 1 out. Now Kirk Neuenhuis will pinch hit. Kirk came in late for defense last night. He got a start on Sunday in Atlanta, reached base 3 times, a double and 2 walks. Of course, his biggest contribution on that road trip was that huge home run he hit against Jonathan Papelbon to beat the Nationals after the Mets came from 6 runs down. Conforto at second and 1 out. Ruben Tejada on deck. And Neuenhuis cranks one down the left field line, slicing, foul. They are truly decked out, are they not?
Fans are into it.
Why shouldn't they be? This is a team that has not been able to figure out a way to lose for more than a week. There's a strike to Neuenhuis with a breaking ball, and it's 1-2. And there's Kirk talking to himself. They've gone to the bottom of the ninth in Pittsburgh. The Cubs trying to get a split of the doubleheader, and John Lester trying to go all the ways, pitching the ninth with a 2-1 lead. You don't see that very often. 1-2 for Morris, and Neuenhuis takes low. Normally these days, if a pitcher pitches a complete game, it's because he has a large lead. In those close games, they generally trust the bullpen. But Joe Madden pushing Lester to try and go 9. He's gotten the first 2 outs in the ninth.
He's probably recognizing that he's got outstanding stuff tonight. Obviously, we're only giving up 1 run in that game.
He even picked a man off tonight. First time he did that in 4 years. And Neuenhuis goes down swinging for the second out. So Morris has his first strikeout. That's 8 tonight for Marlins pitching.
Well, the fan just said below us, what are you doing? Well, he swung at a breaking ball in the dirt. It happens.
And that's now a final in Pittsburgh. Lester completes a 5-hitter.
That's a huge.
Cubs beat the Pirates 2-1 to get a split of that double.
That's a huge split for the Cubs. Cardinals are tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 6th at Milwaukee.
So the Cardinals will have either a 2 or 3 game lead over the Pirates at the end of the night. Here's Tejada, who's doubled and walked tonight, 1 for 2. Conforto at second and 2 out. And he takes a strike. Kelly Johnson on deck, hitting in the 9-hole. Mets are just 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position tonight. They've had plenty of chances. But for a rarity lately, they've been unable to cash in. And for one thing, they haven't had a home run tonight, which has been a rarity lately. Mets have been pummeling home runs during this hot stretch. Skips into Real Muto, and it's 1-1.
Metsies have a streak of how many games, Gary? 3 or more?
Well, on the road, they have that long.
Oh, it's the road. Okay.
Yeah, 27 straight now, which is closing in on a National League record. Overall, 15 straight with 3 or more. It's their longest such streak since 2008. Just 2 so far tonight. Tejada bangs one off his leg. 1-2. Coming up tonight after the post-game show, it's Chris Carlin and Geico Sports Night. Keith, what would your walk-up music be? I would definitely choose One Night in Bangkok over the Pina Colada song if I were you.
How about Hernando's Hideaway? That's what they played for me in Pittsburgh,
you know. One Night in Bangkok makes a hard man humble.
I don't know anything about Bangkok.
Here's the 1-2 coming. And Tejada drives one to left center field. That's down for a base hit. That'll bring in Conforto. Ruben Tejada with his second hit of the night drives it a run. It's now 7-3 Miami.
Well, Ruben, 2 hits tonight. Continues to play well and swing the bat well.
So the Mets have 2 runs home in the 8th. 6-run deficit cut to 4, and now Kelly Johnson up for the second time. Drew a walk after coming in a double switch. He swings through the Morris fastball, 0-1. Before tonight, the Mets have had at least a home run in 13 of their last 14 games. 24 home runs in those 14 games.
They need one now.
And he's capable of providing it. But a good changeup by Morris. And he's down on the count 0-2. Curtis Granderson would be next. Hard-working inning for Morris. He's already thrown 26 pitches. And Johnson with a late swing foul.
Oh, it's mad dash.
Again, the 0-2. And Johnson pulls one. Foul.
Tell you what, Morris has got a much better fastball, and he has no faith in it. He's got a good sinker, and he wants to throw that mediocre breaking ball up there. He's giving up 2 runs with it.
He can throw 97 miles an hour.
Gosh.
Johnson fighting hard behind in the count 0-2. Trying to get Granderson to the plate. And Kelly goes down on the high fastball to end the inning. So 2 strikeouts for Morris. Mets cash a couple, but still trail 7-3 as we go to the 9th at Citi Field. All right, Gary, here's Dario Alvarez to pitch the 9th inning for the Mets.
Well, the 26-year-old left-hander is getting another look here. The Mets got an opportunity to take a look at some left-handers. Got a good arm.
Struggled in his last outing in Atlanta. Gave up 3 runs in 2/3 of an inning. Miguel Rojas, the first man to face him, singled and scored his last time up. 1 for 3 on the night. Ichiro Suzuki on deck. And there's a strike. Well, the seemingly unlikely happened tonight in Atlanta. The Braves got a run in the bottom of the 9th on an Andrelton Simmons RBI single and beat Toronto 3-2. Just the 4th win in the last 28 games for Atlanta. And here's the kicker. Their bullpen went 3 1/3 scoreless innings against that Toronto lineup.
And that's why they play the games. And who would have thought that? You would think that Toronto would have gone in there and steamroll. We'll see how Toronto responds to that loss.
Huge break for the Yankees, who are down 4-3 in Tampa Bay in the bottom of the 8th. Started the day 3 games behind Toronto. They have a chance to gain a game if they can rally. 2-2 to Rojas. No matter how you slice it, those games coming up this weekend at Citi Field are going to be enormous for the Yankees, not just in terms of catching Toronto, but also in terms of hanging on to a wild card berth. They were 3 up on Texas, 4 on Minnesota starting play tonight. And it skips into Rojas 3-2. Texas is 5-5 with Houston in the 4th. Texas rallied big time last night, got a late Prince Fielder home run to win. Texas, if they beat Houston tonight, will be in first place in the AL West. And Houston will drop down into that wild card spot. Fly ball down the right field side. Granderson over, has room, and he's got it, 1 out. You know, Texas at the trading deadline did not look like they were in great shape, but they went for it. They made the deal for Cole Hamels, and Hamels pitched well for them last night. And they could be a first place team by the end of the night.
I got to believe that when Hamels went to Texas, he wasn't a happy camper, and it's turned out he's right in the thick of it. There's someone very angry down here, screaming for the last 2 innings. Getting a little annoying.
Ichiro Suzuki up for the first time, takes inside. Ichiro started last night, went 0 for 3. Still 69 hits shy of 3,000 for his career. Lined into center, and now he's just 68 hits short of 3,000. Well, D. Gordon's had a big night again against the Mets.
3 hits for the leadoff hitter. That's his first little base hit up the middle. First at bat, first pitch fastball. Look at this. Good changeup. Let go with one hand. Great location. Tip your hat. Look at this one. Same spot. Let go with one hand. That's why he's hitting over 330.
179 hits now for Gordon, leading the majors. He lifts this one to left. Conforto over toward the sidewall and runs out of room.
That ball really sliced.
And makes a friend along the way. So dangerous, those short sidewalls. Not as bad down the left field line as down the right field line. Well, it's still some dangerous territory there for fans and players alike.
Not a lot of foul territory.
Gordon slugs one to deep right center. Granderson back to the warning track. That ball's out of here.
Wow.
D. Gordon with just his 3rd home run of the season. A 4-hit night for Gordon. And the Marlins get those 2 runs back and now lead at 9-3 in the 9th.
What a
huge night for D. Gordon.
What an impressive night. That's going to get him a little bit closer to Mr. Harper for the batting title. It's 4 for 4 here, 4 for 5. High fastball down the pipe, showing some pop.
His 180th hit of the year and only his 3rd home run. He's up to 331 with the 4 hits tonight. So we were talking earlier about competition for spots in the postseason for the Mets, and here's Dario Alvarez coming in and giving up 2 straight hits to left-hand batters, including a home run. And now a 3rd straight as Christian Yelich dumps one into center field. So that doesn't help Alvarez's cause at all. Yelich's 3rd hit of the night.
And the Mets would like to go, in the postseason. They got to get there first, but not just one left-hander. You'd like to have 2.
Well, what are their options? I mean,
it's 2 of the 3 here.
Yeah, well, it may not work out that way. You may have to count on their right-handers to get left-hand hitters out in big spots. Here's Prado, who's 1 for 2. Sac fly and a walk, and he takes a strike. There were will be better answers to all these questions a couple of weeks hence. And Alvarez started his delivery, stumbled, and that's a balk. So it's all going wrong for Dario Alvarez here in the ninth.
And Terry, that's it. He's coming out. Did he hurt himself? He didn't slap. It looked like he hurt himself.
Well, Ray Ramirez, the trainer's coming out to see if he's okay. Murph just made the pitching change. I don't know if you saw that.
MacArthur.
Terry's already taken the baseball, and Alvarez will limp off. So stumbling on the mound, not releasing the ball, committing the balk, and now to add injury to insult, he goes limping off. So that contributes to the equation as well. Mets have already lost Carlos Torres for a while with a calf injury, and now Alvarez appears to have some kind of leg injury as well. Murph, we're going to the bullpen.
Okay. All right.
He's a riot, isn't he?
Noted.
Alvarez limps off. Mets make a pitching change. 9-3 Miami. We'll be right back. Theme park. Stay on site at Universal's Cabana Bay Beach Resort. Plus, attend the VIP grand opening of Universal's newest dining experience, NBC Sports Grill and Brew. Just go to Facebook.com/SNY for your chance to win. Well, it's been a bad night for the Mets so far. Their 8-game winning streak in jeopardy of ending. Tim Stoffer will try and get the final 2 outs in the top of the ninth.
Well, he's a well-traveled journeyman pitcher, 10 seasons with San Diego and Minnesota. He had 8 starts at Las Vegas, was 4-1.
Second appearance for the Mets. He pitched on Sunday against the Braves, went an inning and a third, allowed 2 runs, 3 hits. Comes in to face Martin Prado with the horse fairly well out of the barn here. Dario Alvarez giving up a 2-run homer to D. Gordon here in the ninth. And then Alvarez limping off after stumbling and committing a balk. Meanwhile, D. Gordon with a 4-hit night. He had a 5-hit game against the Mets back in April. Gordon now has 33 hits against the Mets in 18 games this season. That is phenomenal.
He got off to that really red-hot first 2 months.
And, you know, he hurt his thumb right before the All-Star break on a slide at first base. Cost him a few weeks. Probably gave him the rest he needed to be strong in the second half, and he really hasn't let up. One and two to Prado with Justin Bour on deck. The Marlins 9 runs and 15 hits, and that man has 4 of them. Curveball from Stauffer misses. 2-2. That's brought Tim Stauffer up after Carlos Torres hurt his calf. Hoping that Stauffer could fill that role as the guy who could eat some innings for you. What Torres' status is going to be come postseason, I don't think anybody knows. Popped up down the line near that short fence, and Murphy reaching, but he can't get to it.
Tough play. Some peculiar angles down there that they designed on this ballpark. That hat's not going to do it, Slugger.
You know, you got to go with the tools you have. Sometimes you have to improvise. Don't leave your glove hanging from the handlebars of your bike. Take it to the ballpark with you.
You put your baseball cards on your spokes.
In the spokes. Make a lot of noise. Strike 3 called. Stauffer gets Prado looking for the second out. So 2 out. And despite the fact Stauffer inherited an 0-1 count, he does get credit for the strikeout. Now Justin Bour, who's 3 for 4 tonight, 2 singles and a double. Struck out his last time up against Eric O'Flaherty. You know, in this conversation we've been having for a good part of the night about the Mets' left-handed relief in the postseason, if none of these guys who are working out of the bullpen are effective now, do the Mets consider using one of their left-handed starters in that role, whether it be Steven Matz or John Neese?
Yes.
Now, it would seem on the face of it that Matz would be better suited to being that guy coming out of the bullpen so he can throw it 98 miles an hour. But you'd also probably rather have him in the rotation, wouldn't you?
I agree. There's a lot of thinking that's got to go into this when they put together this postseason roster.
You know, Neese has never been a relief pitcher, but then Sid Fernandez had never been a relief pitcher before he relieved for you guys in '86.
Sid was the unsung hero.
There's going to be a lot of conversations among the folks who make those decisions over the next few weeks. First things first, though, the Mets have to clinch the division, and they're probably going to lose a game off their lead tonight.
They'll be stuck at Rusty Staub at 10.
You know, Rusty also won number 4.
I know he did. And with Duffy Dyer.
You are really stuck on Duffy Dyer.
No.
3-2 to Bour.
When I came up, it was that 74, so it was that Seaver, Kuzman, Matt Lack, Duffy Dyer. And Felix Millan was at second. Garrett was still playing. Wayne. Cranpool, of course.
Bour strikes out, so Stauffer comes in and registers back-to-back strikeouts. Mets will come up in the bottom of the 9th, down by a half dozen.
Mets baseball on the largest, most reliable 4G LTE network, only from Verizon. By Citi, preferred card of the New York Mets. By Infinity, visit your tri-state area Infinity retailer for a test drive today. By StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the New York Mets. And by Cure Auto, 25 years of saving you money. Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well. Brian Ellington will try and finish things off for the Marlins, who lead 9-3 in the bottom of the ninth.
Well, Ellington pitched last night, had a clean inning. We liked his stuff. We saw him first in Florida.
Curtis Granderson leads off in the last of the ninth. Curtis had a base hit leading off the first inning. He's been held in check since. A fly ball and 2 strikeouts.
A very game Marlin team.
For so much of this season, before the Mets started fortifying their offense, they were carried by their pitching. In July, the Mets had a 2.85 staff ERA. It went up in August to 3.43. So far in September, the Mets staff ERA, including tonight, 4.63. So the pitching has been going in the wrong direction, while the Mets offense has been going very much in the right direction. Tonight, though, he would take a rather extraordinary ninth inning. 3-0 to Granderson leading off. And a 4-pitch walk. That is the 4th straight inning that a Marlins pitcher working with a big lead has walked the leadoff batter.
Mets have left 9 men on base, and the Marlins now is their, I believe, their 6th walk. Not good.
So now Cespedes will get another crack. Yoenis got hit with a pitch in the first inning. Since then, he struck out twice and flied out.
Normally, when you give up 6 walks, you lose.
Cespedes taking all the way.
Cespedes always hitting the bat off its spikes after every pitch, whether it's a swing or a take.
Bohr playing behind Granderson at first. 1-1 to Cespedes. Brian Ellington making just his 17th major league appearance. 25-year-old out of the University of West Florida. That's in Pensacola.
It's a naval base, Pensacola.
Center field. Ozuna was playing deep. He comes in and slides. And did he catch it? He did. He picked it up before it hit the grass. And Cespedes is retired. Nice play, Ozuna, for the first out.
Well, playing deep. And I believe he did make the catch, Gare.
That's a very nice play.
Yeah, it sure is. Very well done. And a nice slide, too.
So an 0 for 4 night for Cespedes. Haven't seen many of those since his arrival. 1 out and 1 on. Now Daniel Murphy has gone 0 for 4 tonight. Ellington still having trouble throwing strikes. David Wright waiting on deck. Ellington trying to finish it off for Tom Kohler, who pitched 6 very effective innings tonight. This game goes back to the first inning for the Mets when they had a run home, the bases loaded, 1 out. They seemed to have Kohler on the ropes. They let him get away, and they never scored again against the Marlins right-hander.
The Yankees are getting beat up, huh? They're their last swings up there and down there in Tampa.
There's a strike, 2-1, 6-3 Rays in the ninth.
What a bad place to play baseball, that ballpark in Tampa, huh? Just awful.
Why do you think I missed the trip?
Well, the only thing good about it is the hotel and the weather.
Sorry I missed that. There's no weather. It's indoors.
Well, around the hotel. They have a nice veranda of the hotel.
The non-baseball part of the week.
Yes, and those summer refreshments really taste good down there in that heat.
2-2 to Murphy. You a daiquiri guy?
Tom Collins.
And Murphy, one that would have caught the home plate umpire.
Sure did.
Dale Scott got staggered.
Yep, he got rocked. Kind of knocked him back, didn't it?
Oh, off the glove, off the mask, a double hit.
Back pedal. And the Wilson mask, the old-fashioned Wilson mask. Love it.
Do umpires get an endorsement contract?
I don't think so.
2-2 from Ellington to Murphy. Murph hanging in there. There's no giving away at bats for this team, even in a 9-3 game.
This will be the first time that they have lost in 9 ball games. They'll get if they lose this game, they'll have an 8-game winning streak snapped.
Granderson at first and 1 out. And Murphy pops one foul and he'll keep it going. It's got 2 runs off Brian Morris in the 8th to creep a little closer, but then D. Gordon hit the 2-run homer off Dario Alvarez in the 9th to extend the Marlins lead again. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat from Ellington to Murphy. And Murph pops it up. Prado comes in to call. 2 out. So the Mets are down to their final out of the night with David Wright coming up.
David 1 for 2 with 2 walks. As you see, a run scored, RBI.
It's a final in St. Petersburg. The Rays beat the Yankees 6-3, so Toronto stays 3 games ahead of the Yankees. And that provides an opportunity for Texas and Minnesota to move up in that wild card race. Texas 5-5 with Houston in the 6th. Of course, if the Rangers win, they'll be in first place. And it'll be the Astros in that second wild card spot. Granderson runs, they'll let him go. Defensive indifference.
He trotted.
Minnesota is down 4-1 to Detroit in the 7th. So that could be a missed opportunity for the Twins tonight unless they rally. And the curveball in for a strike. Twins have gotten such great production out of their rookie Miguel Sano. He has he's done about what Conforto has done for the Mets, but Sano's being asked to be their cleanup hitter because their lineups are just not as strong as the Mets. 0-2 coming to right, and he smacks one to center field, but Ozuna's right there, and that'll end it. Marlins win it 9-3, snapping the Mets' 8-game winning streak. And the Nats are able to shave a game off the Mets' lead. It's now at 8.5 with 17 games left to play. The Mets' magic number remains at 10.
Well, this is a very game Marlin team, and a game that Mets had an opportunity to, with the bases loaded and 1 run in and 1 out, and only did not get any other runners in but the 1. And Kohler settled down, and DeGrom had a tough start. 5 innings, 6 runs. He got the loss.
So Kohler gave up that 1 run in the first inning, then turned off the faucet for his 10th win of the year. DeGrom, 6 runs allowed in 5 innings of work. He falls to 13-8. His ERA goes up to 2.64. The game summary presented by Verizon. Tomorrow night, final game of this series, the rubber match. Bartolo Colon for the Mets. The rookie left-hander Adam Conley goes for the Marlins. Our coverage begins at 6 o'clock tomorrow night right here on SNY. Now for Keith Hernandez, Steve Gelbs, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen at Citi Field. Time for WB Mason postgame live. Let's join Gary Apple and Nelson Figueroa in the studio. Guys.